favorite moisturizer of the year was the Hydra Genius by L'Oreal. It was perfect for placing it under makeup, and it left me mattified throughout the day. I also love the Smashbox primer water because it was nice and hydrating and it smelled phenomenal. As for eyeshadow primer, you guys know how obsessed I was with the MAC paint pot in Layin Low. It matched my complexion perfectly and it just left the best canvas for my eyes. For single eyeshadows, Colourpop took it hands down because they had such a creamy formula and they were very pigmented. Here I'm using the shade Full Zipped. Palette of the year definitely goes to the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. It had the best color selection. It gave a nice range from colorful to neutral and everything in between. This light brown shade from the palette made a great crease color, perfect for blending and perfect for the transition. So I'm going to use that for this particular look. And you guys know I had to use the Sephora Collection number 10 brush as well. It's my ride or die when it comes to blending. Then I'm using this color in the palette, which is more of like a warm yellow, just to blend it out a little bit more, and a rich deep brown to intensify that outer crease. Again, if you're a beginner, these colors are perfect for blending and they're very forgiving. So I highly recommend, if you didn't get a chance to get this palette before, that you pick it up this year. You definitely won't regret it. Going back to the look, I'm just applying this chocolate brown closer to the inner corner of the crease, getting it ready for that lid color that we're going to use next. For the lid, I'm going to be using this Dose of Colors Eyedeal. Oh, it's so beautiful. It's in the shade Shell. This was definitely a standout product of this year. It was so easy to use. It comes with a cream, so you place that on the lid, and then you go ahead and you set that in place with your finger just to spread it out evenly so that when you place the pigment on top, it doesn't look crazy. It won't crack on you and it will last throughout the day. It makes any kind of look very glam without making it too difficult to do. And let's face it, that pigment is so stunning. There's minimal fallout, which is great, especially when you do your makeup and maybe you're in a rush, but you still want to look glam. This is Eyedeal. Get it? The name of the product is Eyedeal. And there we go. I can't make any jokes because I'm too corny. So now that I've placed that pigment, I'm going to go back in with that medium brown and just blend it out so there's no harsh edges. And then using this really deep brown with a slightly more dense blending brush, I'm just going to pack that into the outer corner. I'm almost making a V shape, but not as prominent as like an actual V, if that makes sense. This year I discovered my one true love, and that was the NYX liquid eyeliner in matte black. It made applying my wings so easy and effortless, which was exactly what I wanted to do. It cut down the amount of time that it took me to complete my wings, and it was very black. So again, if an eyeliner could do all of those things, it definitely has to be a favorite. And it just lasted so long. Plus it was affordable, so I highly recommend that if you don't have this eyeliner, that you definitely get it. It'll change your life. Now that I've completed my wings, I'm going to go ahead and dip back into the palette, grabbing that deep brown shade just to intensify the crease one more time and blend out any harsh edges using my favorite crease brush. To clean my brows, I'm going to use the MAC Studio Finish Concealer. This stuff is so amazing, especially when you don't have the chance to get your brows done. This will clean them up and give them shape, also making it a lot easier to fill them in. Sometimes I feel like when you don't get your brows done, you just have no idea where to begin or where to end your brows, and they get either like too thick or too thin. So this certainly helps. And to diffuse it a little bit, I'm just going to go in with the same crease colors that I used before to blend it out with a crease brush. And just like that, you have nicely cleaned up brows. Until you get them threaded, of course, which I will be doing very soon. Then to fill them in, I've been obsessed with the Anastasia Brow Wiz. It's such an oldie but a goodie, but it makes it so easy to fill in your brows. Like, as you can see here, The shape comes out really well, and it just fills them in as if you had little tiny hairs that were getting added to your brows. I've also liked the brow products from Benefit, but you know what? At the end of the day, nothing compares to the brow queen herself. So I had to throw that in there. Plus, the spoolie is perfection when it comes to blending and diffusing the product as well. I also fell in love with the brow powder, and this one is in the shade Soft Brown. It makes it very easy to fill out any gaps that I might have missed with the pencil, and it makes it look a little bit softer as well. This is my go-to when it comes to having just natural brows, and of course, blending them out as well. Once you have filled in your brows, you can go back to the eyes and just deepen out those outer corners even more to make it more dramatic. This will also allow the lid color to stand out even more. And of course, don't forget to blend out those edges using the warmer light brown shades that we used in the beginning. It's okay if they go a little overboard because we can clean that up later. Maybelline had the best mascaras. I loved the Big Shot and also the Lash Sensational. They were phenomenal. For lashes, I feel like Kim Tai definitely took the crown when it came to the lion-hearted lashes. They were so fluffy, and in comparison to other high-end lashes, these were more on the affordable side. Most lashes tend to run about $30 or so, and this one was $18, I believe. So if you really think about it, you're going to get a lot of use with these. I've used them plenty of times, and I have backups as well, but they're just perfect. My favorite regular eyeliner was the one from Makeup Geek. It's very pigmented. It doesn't irritate my eyes. Just a standout product. For primers, you guys should not be surprised. I loved the Primed in Peach primer by TooFaced. Smells great. I mean, like for me, it didn't bother me. It was so good. Another honorable mention was the Smashbox primer. That's also been a tried and true. As for foundation, this year I fell in love with the Huda Beauty Faux Filter Foundation. Gives you the best coverage, and it looks flawless. It really does make your skin look like you have a filter. Now for me, this particular shade in Dulce de Leche is just a tad bit light. So I'm going to go in with another favorite foundation of mine, which is the Makeup Forever Stick Foundation in 173, just to add a little bit more depth to my skin. You guys are going to definitely notice the difference. This foundation is more on the matte side, while the stick foundation is a little bit more on the hydrating side. So it gives you the perfect balance, and it's very easy to apply. Before I discovered the Huda Beauty foundation, this one was definitely a tried and true. The most used corrector that I had this year was definitely the Makeup Forever Ultra HD Concealer in the shade R40. It made such a big difference when I applied a traditional concealer on top. It didn't look as great, and it certainly helped to brighten up my complexion. I don't really have severe dark circles or dark spots, but the ones that I do, I feel like it just helps to minimize. And to blend everything out, I'm using a L'Oreal sponge, which was very comparable to the one from Beauty Blender, but it's cheaper. So if you can get your hands on this, definitely do so. You will not regret it. To conceal, you guys already know I'm going to be using the Shape Tape. It was easily one of my favorite concealers ever, and everyone else's, I know. But it just gives you the best coverage possible without looking heavy or cakey, and the color match I think is phenomenal. I always use the shade Tan because it's not super bright, but it certainly helps to just liven up my skin a little bit and give me some dimension, which is always appreciated. And I'm using the Sephora Collection number 60 complexion brush to blend it out. Sometimes I don't want to use a beauty blender, so this is definitely key. Now to give me a more highlighted effect, I'm going to use the Bare Minerals Bare Skin Concealer Serum. This is a new favorite of mine, but it blends out so seamlessly and gives you the best highlighted natural glow to your skin that everyone needs to pick it up ASAP. For setting powder this year, the Peach Perfect Setting powder by Too Faced was definitely my favorite. It, again, smelled like peaches, but it helped to mattify my skin, which I felt like the Laura Mercier sometimes didn't do the best job at it, but this one came in clutch for me. And I also like to use it to set the rest of my face in place. Again, it's sent from God. I really did love it. To give me that extra airbrushed finish, I'm using the best powder, which is the Micro Smooth powder from Sephora collection. It's very inexpensive for the quality that you get. Very comparable to the MAC Mineralized Skin Finish, but it doesn't break out your skin. It gives you the best coverage, and it makes it look like you have no pores. As for bronzer, you already know the MAC Give Me Sun bronzer is easily the best bronzer in the world. It gives you such a nice, beautiful glow to the skin. It's not powdery. It blends like a dream. I have no complaints of this whatsoever. And I feel like it's lasted me forever. Like, I have not had to replace this for the amount of times that I've used it. To contour my skin, I am using the Bobbi Brown Natural Bronzer. This is also one of my favorites. I picked this up early in the year and I could not let go of it. I tried to use other products, to give myself a break, but I kept reaching for this on a daily basis and it blends out really well. Bobbi Brown just has one of the best formulas when it comes to bronzer, and I think that the combination really does help. The best lip balm was definitely the Menthol Lip Shine by Bath & Body Works. Shout out to Jasmine for putting everyone on. The blush of my life was definitely California by Benefit. This has such a special place in my heart because I actually purchased it in California when I went for the first time, and every time that I use it, it reminds me of that trip and how amazing it was. Plus, the color is gorgeous and it smells like the beach. So during the colder months, this was definitely a great pick-me-up and I loved it. The best highlighter, well, I have two. The first one definitely goes to the Desi Katy Fuego in collaboration with Dose of Colors. It's so blinding but natural on the skin and it doesn't look powdery. Again, I hate when highlighters look too chalky and powdery. It's just one of my biggest pet peeves, but this one did not disappoint. And of course, one of the best collaborations was also with Nicole Guerrero and Anastasia. This palette was perfection. It was, again, just a gift to us all. So blinding, and it took the highlight game to a new level. I hope I never run out of this. It was definitely one of my favorite purchases of the year, and I'm so happy that I was able to get my hands on it. To set everything in place, I'm using the Glam Glow Glow Setter. This is actually my second bottle. It smells like creamsicles, and it really does help to keep my makeup in place. I'm a very big fan of this and it just smells really good, so I have no complaints. To finish off the eyes, as usual, I'm going to go ahead and use the same brown shades that I used in the beginning on my crease. I'm going to use that dense blending brush and I'm going to pick those colors up and place them on the lower lash line just to create a more smoky effect. Now, you guys, you know how obsessed I was with the Peach Blur Powder by Too Faced. This completed my look every single time. It gave me that, again, super filtered look. It got rid of all the pores that I had and I felt like it just made a difference when I wore it as opposed to the times that I didn't. So this I kept in my makeup bag at all times. Here I'm just adding a little bit of black eyeliner to the lower lash line and blending that out with the same crease brush that I had before. For lip liner, you guys, I was in love with any MAC lip liner. They just have the best formula in my opinion and they're very long wearing. Here I'm using the shade Mahogany, which was the collaboration between MAC and Patrick Starr, and it's perfection. Then I'm using a Sephora lip stain to fill it in. I believe this is the number 23 one. It's a staple in my makeup bag. I use it all the time and it lasts very well throughout the day and it doesn't give me that butthole lip. No one likes a butthole lip, but this is such a beautiful color for every day or for even looks like this. And of course, I could not go without talking about the Fenty lip gloss. This is such a staple in my collection now. I've gone through quite a bit of it. I like to use it on its own or on top of other lip colors, and it's beautiful. Now to highlight my inner corners, I'm again using a shade from Colourpop. I don't remember the name of it, but I will list it in the bottom section below. And it's a great inner corner highlight, and I also like to place it in the inner rim as well. The last product that I loved in 2017 was this tinted lash primer by Maybelline. It really makes me feel like I have lashes. It just adds that extra dimension that I feel like I've always needed, and it's such a staple now. This came out around the same time as the Shayla collection did, and I'm so glad they did. Plus, it's a little bit more affordable than the Benefit one, so I do recommend that you go out and check it out as well. And there you have it. Those are all the products that I loved in the year 2017. It was such an awesome year for me personally, and I can't wait to see what 2018 has to offer. I hope to see you guys in the next video, and I really hope you enjoyed this one. Until next time, bye.